Good morning, all of you. Today, the lecture on the phasor diagram of a transformer. See, already in the last class, we have seen the what is meant by phasor diagram. Phasor diagram is nothing but it is a diagram in which all sinusoidal quantities are represented with a phasors with a some specific relation. Now we are going to see the how we are going to develop the phasor diagram of a transformer. The main object of the this lecture is student can able to analyze the transformer with a phasor diagram. With a phasor diagram. See, before going to this class, let me see the operation of a no load current of a transformer. Nothing but if you are not connecting any load across the transformer, so how much current is taken by the transformer? So before going to entering into the no load current of a transformer, let me define the ideal transformer. Ideal transformer is a one, there is no losses occurs in a transformer. Nothing but how much input power you are giving to the transformer, the same amount of power also we can taken from the transformer. There is no voltage drop in a transformer. Nothing but the leakage flux in a transformer we are neglecting. The third one is the permeability of a magnetic material is infinity. Nothing but to create a magnetic flux in a core, the transformer will take some amount of the current. Some amount of the current. So these are the three properties of a ideal transformer. Ideal transformer. See here, let me start the analysis of a transformer with the ideal transformer. See, first of all, we have taken the losses in a transformer is zero. Nothing but say how much input power we are giving, the same amount of power you can take from the transformer. That is ideal case. What are the assumption we have taken? Practically it is not happen like that. As the lecture is going, as the explanation of the transformer is going, we are adding a one property to the ideal transformer so that finally we can attain the practical transformer. See, now we have seen what is meant by ideal transformer. Here we have taken the core type transformer. This is a core type transformer. This is the core of a transformer. Core of a transformer. Already we know that the transformer has a two winding. One is the primary winding, another one is the secondary winding. See here, one winding is there. The same manner, another limb, we are keeping one more winding. The winding where we are giving electrical energy, that is nothing but a primary winding. See here, we are connecting a sinusoidal voltage source. This we are writing as a Vs equal to Vm sin omega t. This is the core of a transformer. This is nothing but a core of a transformer. Core or magnetic circuit. Core of a transformer. Right. No load means here we are going to study what exactly happen in transformer if you are not connecting any load across the transformer. Nothing but this is the secondary winding where we are connecting a load across this winding, but in this case we are not connected any load applied across a transformer. See here, you take a one switch. This is the load. This switch is open. The switch is open. Nothing but we are not connected any load across the secondary winding. We are not connected across the secondary winding. See here, it is the ideal transformer only, but we are assuming that. So we have taken one property into the ideal transformer. We are assuming that, not assuming, we have taken the property as the core losses will be occurs in a transformer. The ideal transformer is one where the losses in a transformer is 0. But here we have taken the one property into the ideal transformer so that we can go for the gradually go for the practical transformer. What is the property we have taken here means there is some amount of core loss will be occurs in a transformer. The some amount of loss will be occurs in a transformer. That property we have taken. See here, whenever we are connecting a voltage source here, it is taking a current of I0. It is taking current of I0, nothing but a no load current. No load current. So whenever this current is flowing through this winding, there is some amount of flux is creating from the primary winding that is flowing in this manner and linking with the two coils. There is a mutually induced voltage in this winding, that is Z2. There is a self-induced voltage in this winding, E1. The E1, according to Lenz's law, the E1 is opposes the supply voltage. The V1 is opposed to the supply voltage. So what is the voltage we are giving to the primary winding? That you have to take it as a V1. Up to here we have taken the Vs. Now we have to take it as a V1. Nothing but a 1 stands for the primary winding, whereas 2 stands for the secondary winding. 2 stands for the secondary winding. Now here, there is self-induced voltage in a primary winding that is opposes the supply voltage. That is opposes the supply voltage. Now, this current, even though if you are not connecting any load across a transformer, the primary winding is taking some amount of current from the transformer supply. That current we are calling as a no load current. Why this transformer is taking that current means it is to meet the two physical things in a transformer. One is to create a magnetic flux in a transformer. Nothing but to create this flux, it is taking one component current from the supply that is equal to magnetizing current. That we are representing as a I mu. See here, why I mu current is taken by the transformer means to create a magnetic flux in a transformer. To create a magnetic flux in a transformer. See here, so one more current also will be taken by the transformer that is equal to meet the core loss occurs in a transformer. In a core, it is a sinusoidal nature of the flux is flowing. Whenever the sinusoidal nature of flux is flowing through the magnetic core, there is a rate of change of flux linkage in a magnetic core. There is eddy current loss are there. The core also subjected to the magnetic reversals. So, hysteresis loss also will be occurs in a core. The sum of hysteresis loss and eddy current loss is nothing but a iron loss. Nothing but a iron loss. To meet that loss, this primary winding is taking some current from the source. That current is nothing but a core loss current. That current is nothing but a core loss current. That we are representing as a IC. Now, sum of these two currents equal to I0. I0 equal to sum of the two currents. One is magnetizing current, another one is core loss current. Sum of these two currents are equal to the no load current. No load current of a transformer. See, this is the reason that at no load, even though we are not connecting any load across a transformer, it is taking some amount of current from the source means to meet the core losses in a transformer and to create a flux from the primary winding. From the primary winding. Now here one more quantity is E1 is there. E1 is nothing but a self-induced voltage in a primary winding which exactly opposes the supply. Which exactly opposes the supply. Now see here, already in the last class we had derived the relation between the flux and E1 and E2. So because of the flux in a core, this is the flux. Because of this flux in a core, only the voltage will be induced in a E1 as well as the E2. E1 as well as a E2. Now, If we draw now we are going to represent all these quantities are the sinusoidal quantities. See here, I naught is sinusoidal, I mu is sinusoidal, IC is sinusoidal, and where the flux is sinusoidal, E1 is sinusoidal, E2 also the sinusoidal. So whatever the quantity, physical quantity is there in a transformer, all those quantities are sinusoidal quantities only. So all these quantities we can represent it with a phasor. We can represent it with a phasor. Now we are going to draw the phasor diagram of transformer at no load. See, to draw the phasor diagram transformer at no load, take the flux on a, see this is the y axis, this is the x axis. First of all, you take the flux on a x axis, see this is the flux. All the phases are rotating in anti-clockwise direction with a velocity of omega, or where omega equal to 2 pi f, where f is nothing but a frequency of the supply. Frequency of the supply. See here, omega equal to where omega equal to 2 pi f, nothing but a angular velocity. Angular velocity, because these phases are rotating in a circle, it is rotating, so it has a angular velocity. So the relation between the frequency of supply and angular velocity is angular velocity equal to 2 pi f. Now come to the phasor diagram. See, initially we have taken the flux on the x axis. This we have taken as a reference. This we have taken as a reference. Because of the flux, the two voltages are induced. One is self-induced voltage in a primary winding and mutually induced voltage in a secondary winding, nothing but E1 and E2. Now the angle between the E1 and E2 is 90 degrees. Already you have seen in the derivation, EMF equation of a transformer. The angle between the flux and the E1 is 90 degrees, and this voltage lags this flux by 90 degrees. Lags this flux by 90 degrees. See, that is the reason that, see here, this is the reference flux. E1 we have taken here. This is the E1. This is the E2. E1, E2. Now what is the angle between these two? 90 degrees. Lagging. Suppose here one person sitting and standing and observing, all these phases are rotating in anti-clockwise direction, in this direction. So after 90 degrees of passing of flux only, this person can able to see this E1 and E2. The first flux phasor is crossing this person. After 90 degrees, E1 and E2 phasors will be crossing this person. Nothing but E1, E2 will be lags by flux by 90 degrees. Lags by 90 degrees. So that is the reason that we have taken the E1 and E2 here. So here, in this case, we are assuming that N2 is greater than the N1. N2 is greater than the N1. Nothing but the number of turns in the secondary winding is greater than the number of turns in a primary. In that manner we have taken. See here, now E1 is nothing but a self-induced voltage in a primary winding. Because of self-induced voltage in primary winding, there is a voltage drop in a supply. Because the E1 is opposing the V1 supply voltage. So when it is opposing the V1, there is some voltage drop in a V1. There is some voltage will be drop in a V1. That component here we are drawing. How much magnitude of E1 is there? Here E1. The same amount of magnitude here you take. This is the E1 dash. E1 dash. So what is the difference between the E1 and E1 dash means? E1 is a self-induced voltage in a primary winding, whereas the E1 dash is the voltage drop in a supply due to the E1, nothing but a self-induced voltage in a primary winding. The magnitude of these two quantities are equal. Magnitude of these two quantities are equal. That is the difference. One is self-induced voltage. E1 dash is the voltage drop in a supply due to the E1. Due to the E1. Now here, we have neglected the, here, we have taken the ideal transformer. There is no voltage drop in a, primary winding. So when there is no voltage drop in a primary winding, this E1 dash equal to V1. This E1 dash equal to V1. Because we have taken the transformer with only core losses only. With only core losses. See here. Now, see with only core losses means, now E1 dash equal to V1. So whenever we are applying a voltage here V1, it is taking a current of I0 that lags V1 by, the no load current lags V1 by some angle. This is I0 no load current. This angle is nothing but a no load angle pi naught. This angle is nothing but a no load angle pi naught. This is the angle between the V1 and I0. Why this current is lags by V1 means it is inductive nature. Definitely, what is the current flowing through the primary winding? Definitely, the current will be lags the supply voltage V1. Supply voltage V1. Now, so that is the reason that V1 is here. Now we have taken the I0 here, because if phasors are rotating in anti-clockwise direction, after some time of crossing of V1 only, I0 will be crossed the any point. Because all phasors are rotating in a anti-clockwise direction with the same velocity, angular velocity, that is 2 pi f. Now, we are resolving this I0 current. If we resolve this I0 current, this is magnetizing current, I mu. So why this I mu is taken by transformer? To create a flux in a transformer. That's why the magnetizing current is in phase with a flux. Again, if we resolve this I0, one more component we are getting. This current is nothing but a IC, core loss current. Right? This is magnetizing current. This is the core loss current. See, now we are going to find out what is the relation between the no load current and magnetizing current and core loss current. To find this relation, so now we consider this triangle 0, A, B. In this triangle, this angle is nothing but a pi naught. Now here, in this triangle, now we are finding the AB. AB is nothing but a magnetizing current. Now in this triangle, if you find the AB, nothing but magnetizing current, the magnetizing current I mu equal to I naught sin pi naught. Now apply the sign here. If you apply the sign here, if you take the trigonometry function sin theta, now we are getting the magnetizing current I mu equal to I naught sin pi naught. Now, core loss current IC equal to I naught cos pi naught. The same triangle. If we take the cos function, then we can find the magnitude of core loss current. Now, sum of these two currents, I naught equal to core loss current plus magnetizing current, I mu. All these are the phasors. To represent phasor, nothing but a vector, rotating vector. Vector and rotating vector, both are different. The rotating vector only the phasor. that only representing sinusoidal quantity, that only representing the sinusoidal. So here I naught equal to IC plus I mu bar. This bar is representing the phasor. This is phasor sum. This is the phasor sum. Now this is nothing but a, this diagram is nothing but a phasor diagram of transformer on no load. Phasor diagram transformer on a no load. Nothing but a, without applying any load on a transformer, this is the phasor diagram. So what we can understand from this phasor diagram is the phase relation as well as the magnitude of the physical quantities in a transformer, that we can understand from this phasor diagram. Right? This is the no load phasor diagram of a transformer. So already you have seen this one, E1, E2, pi m you have taken here. All these phasors are rotating in an anti-clockwise direction. All these phasors are rotating in a anti-clockwise direction. This is I naught. This is, see here. Ideal transformer is nothing but a no losses in a transformer. No losses in a transformer. And a leakage flux is 0. And core has a infinity permeability. Nothing but a, the core, to set up a flux in a core, it is taking a some amount of current. Some amount of current. Next, no load current. From this diagram, all the things already we have discussed. See here, this is I mu. This is core loss current. This magnitude is nothing but a E1 dash, nothing but a voltage drop in a supply due to the E1. Due to the E1, this is equal to V1. This is equal to V1, supply voltage. Because we neglect the voltage drop in a primary winding of a transformer. This current is nothing but a magnetizing current. This current is nothing but a core loss current. That's why we have taken the C, I suffix C, I suffix C. See here, some of these two currents are nothing but a no load current. See here, IC equal to I naught, nothing but a phasor, I naught into cos pi naught. Next, I mu equal to nothing but a magnetizing current equal to I naught and cos pi naught. No load current to the magnetizing current as well as a core loss current of a transformer. Core loss current of a transformer. Sir, initial pause here. Phasor, even also the phasor, sinusoidal quantity. So all these sinusoidal quantities we can represent it in a phasor diagram. We can represent it in a phasor diagram. If we represent all these sinusoidal quantities in phasor diagram, means that is representing the phasor diagram of a transformer at no load. At no load. That we are going to see here. Now we are going to draw the phasor diagram of a transformer. This is nothing but a practical transformer. This is nothing but a practical transformer. Again you take the y-axis. This is the x-axis. See here you take the pi, nothing but a mutual flux. Nothing but a mutual flux. Because of the mutual flux, there is a voltage induced in a primary winding E1, self-induced voltage, and voltage induced in secondary winding, that is E2. Again you take the N1 and N2. N1 is nothing but a number of turns in primary winding, N2 is nothing but a number of turns in a secondary winding. See here, this is E1, this is E2, this is E2. In this case, we are assuming that N2 is greater than the N1. N2 is greater than the N1. Now, because of the E1, there is a voltage drop in a primary winding, that is E1 dash. So, how much magnitude is there? The same amount of magnitude you take here with the opposite phase. This is nothing but a E1 dash. E1 dash. Now, in this case, whenever we are considering the resistance and reactance of primary winding, E1 dash is not equal to V1. There is some voltage will be drop in the primary winding. Ideal transformer, we neglect it. Now we are taking everything because it is a practical transformer. Because it is a practical transformer. See here, now whenever we apply the voltage here, it is taking a current of I0. This is I0. It has a two components. One is magnetizing current. Another one is core loss current. Core loss current. These two are the phases. Now, this angle is nothing but a pi naught. This angle is nothing but a pi naught. Okay. So, when the current is flowing through the primary winding, I0 current is flowing, the primary winding has a resistance of R1. Has a resistance of R1. Now, there is some amount of voltage will be dropping in a resistance, that is I1 R1. See, nothing but a I0 R1. So, why here we have taken the I0 means because current is I0. Current is I0. We are not connected to any load. That's why we have taken the I0. I1 equal to I0. I1 equal to I0. I1 is nothing but a primary current, whereas I0 is nothing but a no load current. Now, it is a phasor. It is a sinusoidal quantity. It is a sinusoidal quantity. So, we know the I0. We know the I0 and R1 and multiply the I0 with R1. See here I0, here I0 R1. Now, what is the phase relation between these two quantities means both are in phase. In phase is nothing but a parallel. Suppose if you take this is a sinusoidal quantity, this is a I0, I0 R1, both are parallel, I0 R1. So here from the I0 parallel to the I0 from the tip of the E1, see this is the E1, from the tip of the E1 parallel to the I0 you draw a, this is I0 R1. So how do you draw this one? Parallel to the I0 you have to draw the phasor from the tip of the E1. So why we are adding to the E1 means from the tip of the E1 we are drawing means we are adding these two phases. We are adding these two phases. Let me see what will be happen if we add these two phases. Next. Now come to the reactance. One parameter is the over. The winding has a resistance, that is over. Now we come to the reactance of a leakage reactance we are representing. Nothing but the winding has a leakage reactance. Nothing but there is a drop across a leakage reactance I0 X1. I0 X1. So whenever you are calling this voltage, this is the leakage reactance drop. This is the voltage which lags the leakage flux by 90 degrees. Which lags the leakage flux by 90 degrees. Because this is the leakage voltage. This voltage is induced in a transformer in a primary winding due to the leakage flux, due to the leakage flux. Now what is the angle between this flux and this one? 90 degrees, whereas the voltage lags this flux by 90 degrees. Now what is the position of this flux means in the phasor diagram is the leakage flux is here. That is in phase with a no load current. That is in phase with a no load current. Because due to whenever the no load current is flowing, the leakage flux is creating. So the leakage flux is in phase with a I naught. Now this voltage, the angle between this leakage flux and this voltage is 90 degrees. So here you have to draw a one phasor, that is E equal to minus J I naught x1. J I naught x1. So why we are putting the minus J means J is operator which is producing a phase shift of 90 degrees. But here lagging, that's why we are keeping a minus. Now come here. This is the induced voltage in a primary winding due to the leakage flux. So because of this induced voltage due to the leakage flux, there is a voltage drop in a primary winding. See, voltage drop in a supply. There is a voltage drop in a supply. So that voltage drop, how we are going to draw that voltage drop means opposite to this one and parallel. See here, from this tip, how much magnitude is there? The same magnitude will drop parallelly. This is the J I naught x1. Nothing but a voltage drop. This is nothing but a voltage drop in a leakage reactance. This is nothing but a, see here, there is a lot of difference between these two quantities. Both are parallel and opposite, same magnitude. One is, this is induced voltage in a primary winding due to the leakage flux. This is the voltage drop in a primary winding due to the induced voltage. That's why we have taken opposite. Now, here, okay. If you observe clearly here, after the resistance drop, this resistance drop is we are adding to the E1. From the tip of the resistance drop, we are drawing the phasor which is representing the leakage reactance drop. Now, phasor sum of these two is nothing but a I naught Z naught. I naught Z naught is nothing but a the voltage drop in a primary winding. The primary winding has a, sorry, this is not Z naught. I naught Z1 is nothing but a voltage drop in a primary winding. The primary winding has a impedance of Z1. Where Z1 equal to square root of R1 square plus X1 square. Z1 is nothing but a impedance of primary winding. Impedance of primary winding. Now from this phasor diagram, this is the phasor diagram which is representing the primary winding at a no load of a transformer. So from this phasor diagram, we can write a relation. See here, if you find the phasor of E1 and I1 Z0, this resultant phasor becomes say this one. This is the V1. This is the V1. So from this phasor diagram, we can write a one mathematical expression for the primary winding. You can write a one mathematical expression for the primary winding. If you write the mathematical expression, V1 equal to, see here, V1 equal to E1 dash plus I naught R1 plus I naught J X1. Nothing but E1 plus this one is equal to the V1. Is equal to the V1. All these are the phasors. All these are the phasors only. Nothing but sinusoidal quantities. Now here, if you rewrite this equation, V1 equal to E1 dash plus I naught, take the common, R1 plus J X1. This R1 plus J X1 is nothing but a, this is nothing but a Z1, nothing but a impedance of primary winding, impedance of a primary winding, Z1 equal to R1 plus J X1, R1 plus J X1. So what is E1 dash here? E1 dash is nothing but a induced voltage in a primary winding due to the mutual flux. Due to the mutual flux. See here, this is the final equation. This is the final equation for the primary winding at no load. But here, the transformer is a practical transformer. Nothing but we have taken the core losses. The winding has a resistance, as well as the winding has a leakage reactance. The leakage reactance is representing the leakage flux in a transformer. Leakage flux in a transformer. The physical thing we are representing with a leakage reactance. Right? See here, all these are nothing but the sum of all the three quantities are nothing but equal to V1. All these are the phasors. So finally, from the phasor diagram, you can develop the relation between the sinusoidal quantities, nothing but V1 equal to E1 dash plus I naught into R1 plus JX1, but this is at a no load. There is no phasor at secondary side. The secondary side has only the E2 only. Even the winding is there, but there is no current is flowing through the secondary winding. There is no current is flowing through the secondary winding. So there is no phasor at a secondary side. There is no phasor at a secondary side. So only the one phasor, that is E2. That is E2. This is representing the phasor diagram of transformer at a no load. But here the transformer is a practical transformer. Practical transformer. We have taken everything, losses, resistance of winding, as well as a leakage reactance of a winding also. But here we consider only the primary winding. Sir, initial break.